tough physically and technically.
There's no place to recover and there's no place to hide.
The mind gives up before the legs.
If you don't have fun, you will not be fast.
When you see the magnitude of this race, it's just unbelievable.
The Absa Cape Epic is a legendary 8-day mountain bike stage race that traverses South Africa's spectacular Western Cape. In its 20th edition, the event is open to pros and amateurs, male and female, and continues to deliver gender equality through prize money, start batches, and race coverage. 2024 attracts the biggest ever Aramex women's field and is the most competitive to date. This year's course starts in Lawrenceford for a snappy prologue, followed by 3 starts in Sarensburg. The only transitional stage takes the race village to Wellington, and then the mountain bike mecca of Stellenbosch will host the final 2. It's an impressive 602 kilometers with 16,050 meters of climbing. This year's prologue takes place on the Lawrenceford wine estate just south of Stellenbosch. Today's time trial pits the teams against the clock and will seed the riders for stage 1. It's short and sharp, but the rewards are high with pristine single track and flowing trails. The defending champion, Vera Lusa, has a new partner in 2-time American marathon champion, Alexis Skada. They form Efficient Infinity SCB SRAM.
I think first of all we have to get to know each other a little bit out there. So that will be our main goal, and then we can go as hard as possible and see what comes out at the end.
Yeah, I think what I'm feeling a lot of different feelings all at once, so it's all a little, I don't want to say overwhelming, I'm feeling pretty good, but it's a lot to take in and I'm excited.
Lusa and Skada crossed the line in just less than 1 hour and 18 minutes, taking 4th place. 2022 Cape Epic winner Sofia Gomez Villafan from Argentina partners up with Oceania champion Samara Shepherd for Toyota Specialized 91.
I think it's a really technical prologue, probably the most technical the Cape Epic has ever done. A lot of single track, and yeah, you want to go full gas to the top, but then that descent, that Toyota tough descent at the top is definitely tough. So we want to make sure that we're sharp there and then just really work on communication.
Gomez Villafan and Shepherd arrive back in the Lawrenceford race village to take 3rd on today's time trial. South African marathon champion Candice Lill is a Cape Epic veteran. She has never won, but has 4 second places. She hopes to break the curse, partnering up with 22-year-old world marathon champion Mona Mitterwallner from Austria. They are Cannondale Factory Racing.
Yeah, I think this is the Cape Epic that I've had the most momentum and intention behind, riding with such a strong partner like Mona. I'm just really excited to see what we can do.
This is my first Cape Epic. Even on my race number it says newbie. To be honest, I am really nervous, but the so-called pre-race nerves are exactly what you need to give you those extra percentages in the race.
Yeah, I think the prologue is always like, all the nerves, and it's just one way to start. I think obviously we're hoping to have a good one and we're going to give everything to go for the win.
After a challenging prologue, they crossed the line in 1 hour, 15 minutes and 50 seconds, placing 2nd. Ghost Factory Racing with Terpstra and Nicole Koller are cross-country specialists, so are very suited to this fast and furious course. Neither of them has been to the Cape Epic before and don't know what to expect or have any aspirations or have any aspersions. The Dutch-Swiss duo have great race pedigree with world and national titles under their belts, but never at massive stage races.
Plan was to be quite conservative, to start off easy, to keep it safe, especially in the downhills. And I would say we came down quite good, but the conservative thing, not sure if we did that as we planned.
It was hard in the beginning to find the right pace, but I think in the end it worked out pretty well. And yeah, it's amazing to have the orange jersey.
Crossing the line, they set the fastest time of the day, just over 1 minute ahead of Cannondale. A welcome surprise to be in the orange jersey going into stage 1. Sarensburg Wine Estate is the host to the first 3 stages. This historic farming area was once a frontier town. The surrounding area provides rugged trails and sweeping switchbacks through the indigenous fynbos undergrowth.
My feeling is that stage 1 is always like a big day in the Cape Epic. Obviously everybody wants to stamp their mark on the race. With a lot of climbing all in the last 40 or 45k, so I suspect that that's where the racing will happen.
It's going to get warm out there. It's the first real test of the endurance. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
The gun goes for the first stage of the 2024 Absa Cape Epic. Now the racing really starts. Stage 1 is traditionally tough, and this year is no exception. The Aramex Women's elite teams get underway on today's 88-kilometer course. It's not the longest day, but it still has 2,450 meters of climbing.
The situation is a bit different today, of course, wearing these jerseys. And even though we did the prologue yesterday, it was not really clear what to expect from today. So I think all in all we did a really good job. We could do what we want to do. I think we were on a very similar level with Cannondale. Like, we did some more work at the beginning, they did some more work in the end, and maybe we have different strengths and weaknesses. I think we were like only 3 kilometers before the finish line, maybe. And we came around the corner, it was Candice Lill, then me, and then I don't know, there came something out of the bush. Like, I just saw it go like right behind me, and then I heard Nicole like, oh! I was just happy she was on a bike, but I couldn't tell what animal it was actually.
It all comes down to the final sprint. The 2 teams jostle for position coming into the finishing field. It's Ghost Factory Racing that use their cross-country firepower to take the inside line to bag the win. Cannondale finished just 1 second behind, and a disappointing day for Specialized 5 minutes later.
Stage of the 20th edition of the Absa Cape Epic. It is 97 kilometers with 2,200 meters of climbing.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the stage, a little bit familiar with the trails, and yeah, it's really nice to be here and kind of have a clue of what's coming. I think it's just minimize any losses. Like, we lost a lot of time yesterday, unfortunately, so it's all about trying to make sure we don't make those same errors again.
I mean, the Cape Epic, it's like you have to take it moment by moment. You have a general plan, and then it's like, you know, you have to adapt along the way. So obviously if we have really good legs and we can take advantage of a situation, I think we'll feel where that is. Otherwise it's just about keeping it safe to the line.
Stage 2 is a loop out of Sarensburg. The riders must tackle the legendary Wagon Trail, not once, but twice, up and down. It's the longest stage of this year's race at 97 kilometers. The Witzenberg Valley is unrelenting and rough. It requires respect and focus. At 20% in places, the Wagon Trail takes its victims one by one. It's a brutal technical climb that inevitably divides the pack. Again, it's Lill from Cannondale on the front, with Ghost and Specialized in between. Mitterwolner is struggling again at the back of the pack. The defending champion Vera Lusa has a technical early on. They can't seem to unpick the problem. The time ticks on.
And I all of a sudden just heard like, pshh, so I had to stop and vomit. And it actually held the whole stage.
On the descent, I tested the other teams and tried to tire them. But in the last descent, Candice had another puncture, and so we didn't have a chance to compete in the sprint finish. We tried to slow them down, but it didn't work out.
There is no way they can fight for the win, and Ghost take the hat trick.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. We didn't ever believe that we could place this highly in the Cape Epic. Yeah, 3 for 3. It's mega cool to get 3 out of 3 wins on the first stages. But we will still try to push harder and get the maximum out of ourselves.
The Absa Cape Epic is one of the longest-running mountain bike events in the world, and this is the 20th edition. There are just 2 people who have completed every year, one of whom is in the women's category.
It's so beautiful to have grown 20 years journey with the Epic and see how it has grown in all ways, and to see so many people here from all over the world. So for me, it's really been a life journey and a growth in my own life, and it makes this race so special. I think is that when you celebrate, when you come across the finish, not the finish after a stage, you are so happy, and then you realize now it starts to prepare for the next day. So it's not just physical, it's a very emotional mind challenge. I know it's a very testing route.
On the women's competitive side, there is one name that is synonymous with the Absa Cape Epic. She holds the record for the most overall wins, a total of 5. Danish legend Annika Langvad.
The Absa Cape Epic is one of the most intense and magical things you can do on your bike. There's not many other things in life where you will go through the ups and downs as you will in this race. The first time I heard about the Cape Epic was when my very first Cape Epic partner, Ariane Lill, she asked me to race with her. And to be honest, I had no idea about the race. I had no idea what I got myself into. It was really just throwing myself into the unknown. If it wasn't for her, I would never have been involved with Absa Cape Epic in the way that I have up until now. The first image I remember from the race was actually a picture of myself at my very first Cape Epic back in 2014. I had a flat tire and I could not fix the flat. So I ended up standing on the side of the road trying to fix my flat tire, and I was a big mess. It was not pretty. In 20 years, the Absa Cape Epic has come so far. I think it's rare to see a race like this really set the standards when it comes to, for example, equality among genders, and they have always set the bar high, and I hope and believe in the next 20 years we'll just see the race develop even further.
Stage 3 is the only transitional stage of the race, and it's a long flowing stage to Wellington. Ghost take another win, and second place comes down to a sprint finish. Cannondale take it from Toyota Specialized 91 by just 1 second. This does not affect the top 3 teams in the GC. Efficient Infinity SCB SRAM are drifting behind almost half an hour off the pace after a challenging day on the bikes. Specialized and Cannondale are still in contention, and Ghost have a clean sweep so far. But we are only halfway into the race, and it's all to play for. Stage 4 is the toughest of the event, known as the Queen's Stage. It has had to be shortened due to the expected rising temperatures. This is primarily for the safety of the amateurs. They will complete the course up to double the time of the professionals. Wellington is known for its vineyards and fruit trees and is situated at the bottom of the Groenberg mountain range, a perfect location for such a prestigious stage.
Today is going to be definitely a decider. We just need to get a few things right along the way, and if we play our cards right, I think we can hurt the Ghost girls today.
Ghost have all the answers today. They control the race and lead into the legendary cliffhanger. They are silky smooth through the switchbacks, not taking any risk. This is a highlight of the event for most. However, Gomez Villafan has apprehensions.
Going down, I forgot I have a massive phobia of cliff sides, but I was like, I just need to not fall off of this thing. We learned that we need to do a little bit of something. The last few kilometers is really narrow, so there's not a lot of opportunities to pass. I tried to launch it at just 1.5K to go, which was probably a little bit early, but yeah, at least we tried to get in between the Ghost girls.
Ghost play a smart game and cross the line first in just under 4 hours and 9 minutes. Just 2 seconds behind, Cannondale and Specialized battle it out, and it's Gomez, Villafan and Shepherd that take the second, with Lill and Mitterwolner in third.
I was prepared for more attacks, to be honest. I think both Specialized and Cannondale wanted to make the pace high from the beginning. But it turned out that actually Nicole and I were the fastest there, so it was nice to know like they can try, but we're still there, we're hanging on. I think we were both too terrified to really have kind of expectations, I would say. I'm not sure. We went in quite neutral. I think with a healthy dose of respect, but at the same time also like relaxed, and I think that's still our vibe, and that's for sure helping us.
And it's really motivating to know that like I will need her to take care of me as well, and like it's not just a one-way street, it's definitely us really taking care of each other.
When you win alone, you have like a team behind you and you can still share it. But now to be able to share it with Nicole, for me, is really, really special. And I mean that. And that's why I wanted to do this race.
Für mich ist halt das Team nicht einfach nur Team und Business, sondern das ist eigentlich mehr Familie, wo ich ja, mehr als 100 Tage im Jahr unterwegs bin.
This is the toughest mountain bike stage race, and it has the incredibly strong competition. We've got number 1 and 2 marathon world champion in the second place.
We've really had to all raise our game. I've had to strategize, think, we've had to be tactical, we've had to go all in, we've had to suffer more than I think any of us thought we would ever have to.
I've expected to suffer like all the time. We are used to cross-country racing, but I think until now I was really prepared to suffer way more until I did.
We are hungry, we want the victory, we want the stage win, we want the final to be ours.
We just look at each other.
I think we're better at riding bikes, eh?
Toothpaste. We need like some candles, a little date night. Bist du in English?
Oh my gosh, I'm under pressure.
Bike.
Fast. Epic. Trails. Savage uphills. Savage downhills.
Epic.
Cape Epic.
8 Tage.
Anstrengend.
Selten.
Team vibe.
Food. Say food. A lot of food. I think it's better in English.
Mona.
Candice.
Early morning.
Breakfast.
Oats.
Banana.
Yogurt.
Yoga.
Partner.
Ship.
Trophy.
We get it.
Helmet.
Safe.
Smelly.
Pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Massage or ice bath?
Massage.
Ice bath.
Wet or dry?
Wet. Dry.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
Cold.
Stage 5 doesn't change the order, but it does add an extra minute between first and second, now at 2 minutes 51 seconds. With the unpredictable Western Cape terrain, the race is very much anyone's to take.
I mean, the gap is less than 3 minutes. So there's 2 days of racing, which means probably 8 hours on the bike. I mean, 3 minutes in 8 hours, it's completely doable. I've done so many epics, 6, 7 epics, and I've never had to really dig and think and plan tactically like I have in this race.
Stage 6 sees the temperatures lower in Stellenbosch, and there is even a light rain overnight. A welcome change, especially for the Northern Hemisphere riders. Specialized put the pressure on early and managed to create a gap, but they can't make it stick. The elastic is just too strong. Cannondale and Ghost reel Gomez, Villafan and Shepherd back in and quickly take advantage of the expended pair.
Between first and second in the women's race is closer than the men's race this year. I don't think that's ever been. So how exciting is that?
Lill and Mitterwolner constantly try to shake the orange jersey, but Ghost are like a pair of hyenas.
I think they tried at some moments to make the pace high. For sure they were trying to get us off the front when it came to the trails. Yeah, and then we just knew, like, if we come together until the last climb, that we will have to enter the narrow section first. And yeah, we gave it all to make that work, and it did.
Terpstra and Koller continue to position themselves in between the Cannondale pair and disrupt their tactics.
It came down to a massive sprint to get into that tunnel that I was just giving everything, and the two Ghost girls got in front of us and they made a gap on the descent to the line.
Yeah, it's always hard to switch focus between the next race and the joy of a victory. And yeah, but I am pretty sure that after tomorrow we will let it sink in and yeah, just enjoy the moment.
One more big round of applause.
The grand finale is the most prestigious stage of all and sometimes the hardest to win. The crowds rush in together to watch the final Stellenbosch finish line of the Absa Cape Epic. With almost 27.5 hours of racing in their legs, it's one final push. 67 kilometers, but it has 2,000 meters of climbing.
Today, the team that is ready to suffer the most will win, because I think everybody feels their legs now. But yeah, we're ready and determined to go for the win. Doesn't matter what win, but we just want to be celebrating on top of the podium, and we're ready to go to dark places for it.
Efficient Infinity SCB SRAM want to stamp their mark on this final day. Early in the Jonkershoek trails, they make a break but can't make it stick. Current world champion, 22-year-old Mitterwolner from Cannondale, is not on her finest form this week. Teammate Lill sits on the front of the group and tries to slow the pace, giving her time to recover. At the 45-kilometer mark by Jonkershoek Gate, Ghost take the opportunity to make a break for the finish and go for the final stage win. They put on a masterclass display of mountain biking and cross the line in just over 3.5 hours to take their 8th win. A clean sweep for Terpstra and Koller.
Terpstra, Nicole Koller, your Absa Cape Epic Women champions.
After a hard-fought race, almost 5 minutes later, Cannondale limp across the line in second. With their first podium of the event, today's third is Efficient Infinity SCB SRAM. The Aramex overall results see Toyota Specialized 91, Sophia Gomez Villafan and Samara Shepherd in third. Cannondale Factory Racing, Mona Mitterwolner and Candice Lill in second. And after almost 31 hours of racing, Ghost Factory Racing, Anne Terpstra and Nicole Koller take the win on their first ever Absa Cape Epic.
Yeah, I think it's just really cool to experience this together. We spoke about it a couple of days ago. There's some things that we learned about each other that's new, but it's really funny to actually say that there's not much new. We already knew each other, and we already cared about each other, and therefore it's even more nice to do this with someone like Nicole and to be able to celebrate this with Nicole.
We didn't have the biggest aspirations. We thought it would be good preparation for the World Cup season, so yeah, to win this in the end is unbelievable. And yeah, I think the last 2K, we just enjoyed it and yeah, tried to soak up the atmosphere.
The dust settles on the 20th edition of the Absa Cape Epic. There has been suffering, celebration, tactics and tears. This year's race has been animated on every stage. Ghost have been a clean sweep, but the racing is the closest it has ever been. The scene is set for the next 20 editions.